that the governor of our state, Eric Holcomb, has just recently signed into law, into executive order rather, a mask ordinance. And I think this is important for several reasons. One, he should have done it a long time ago. It was extremely important that it be done as soon as possible. I am glad that he's doing it now. He has decided, I don't know why now, but possibly in the wake of some of the political moves at the top level of the country, Donald Trump finally saying that putting on a mask was patriotic instead of saying that it made him personally look like the Lone Ranger and that he didn't like that. I don't know if that's the reason. But the candidate for governor running against Mr. Holcomb, Dr. Woody Myers, again, a doctor who knows what he's talking about, called for a mask ordinance several weeks back. And many people have called for it already. Some cities have already instituted a mask ordinance. Some counties have done so as well. And also, obviously, many private businesses have begun requiring people to wear masks when inside. So the mask ordinance, as I understand it, is in effect anytime that you're in public in an area where you couldn't social distance. And it does have teeth in the sense that you can be fined for not wearing a mask. Now, my preference is that we do things to encourage people positively to wear masks. I think that the government could, at its own expense, be providing masks to folks free of charge, free at the point of healthcare service, free at the point of service healthcare, rather, is something that I am very much in favor of. I favor Medicare for all, single-payer healthcare system. But in the midst of a pandemic, the idea that we shouldn't be wearing masks is ridiculous, and I will debate this issue with anyone who wants to debate it. I'm also going live for the reason that in Hamilton County, our Sheriff Dennis Quackenbush has said that he believes that the mask ordinance is unconstitutional. And that the governor, because he did this by executive order and not by the ordinance being passed by the state legislature, that it's an unconstitutional act. And I don't believe that to be the case. The Supreme Court has ruled repeatedly that executive orders and emergency orders for the public health are enforceable. But I would like to call Mr. Quackenbush's bluff in the sense that I would love to see, in addition to the fact that I believe that the governor has the authority to do what he's done, I would love to see a mask ordinance passed by the state legislature. So call the legislature back. Call an emergency session. If I were in the state legislature, I would vote for it. So any members of the current state legislature, what are your views on this? Would you vote for it? Would you vote against it, and why? So have the governor call an emergency session. Have the state legislature call an emergency session. Put them in session and vote and say whether or not you are in favor of protecting people in the midst of a pandemic or whether you're in favor of playing politics with people's lives, which is indeed what I believe Dennis Quackenbush, my sheriff, is doing here in Hamilton County. So, by saying that he's not going to enforce the law, not going to enforce a executive order from the governor that we need to be protecting ourselves and protecting our friends and protecting our family members in the midst of a pandemic. So I will be wearing my mask when I'm in public. I think that we should all be wearing masks. Again, I think that it's important that that we make this as easy for people as possible, that we educate folks on the reasons why you should be wearing a mask. The fact is that there's a lot of misinformation going around about mask wearing. The idea that you can asphyxiate yourself because you're breathing in carbon dioxide is ridiculous. These masks are not capable of preventing you from exhaling carbon dioxide. It will go right through the mask. There's also folks who say, well, if you're wearing a mask, then why do I need to wear a mask? The reality is that a mask protects you from me. It doesn't protect me from you. If you are spewing droplets of COVID into the air, I'm not going to be protected from those droplets unless you're wearing a mask. So wear a mask in public. It's just common sense. It's just the right thing to do when we live in a society. When I go outside right now, I'm about to leave, I have to wear a seatbelt. That protects me. It protects the people around me, because if I'm wearing a seatbelt, then odds are that I'm cognizant of my own safety in the vehicle, and I should be cognizant of the safety of others on the road. We have rules of the road as well. And so when we're in a motor vehicle, we have to follow those rules. And presumably, Dennis believes that those rules should be followed and that he should enforce them. I would love to ask Dennis Quackenbush if he's going to be wearing a mask. So are you? And if not, why not? If so, why do you believe that others should not be wearing masks? If you want to make this argument purely about your role as a sheriff in enforcing laws that you believe to be constitutional, I would simply point you to the Supreme Court rulings on this issue, on issues of very similar issues in terms of health ordinances and the ability of the government to enforce said ordinances in emergency situations, which we are in right now. This is a pandemic. So, is this ideal? Is any of this ideal? Of course not. I don't want to have to wear this thing. I shouldn't be in this situation right now, and I wouldn't be if people like Mr. Quackenbush, like Mr. Holcomb, like Mr. Trump had taken this seriously earlier. But here we are. We're in the situation that we're in. So we need to take this seriously, and I'm going to take it seriously by wearing my mask. Please do so. Thanks for watching.